Happy Halloween.
Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. So, today we have the topic, facing your fears. James, would you like to share what you are dressed up as today?
I gotta start. Okay. I'm dressed as a Templar Knight.
Oh my God.
Yes, we officially guarded the Holy Grail, the Holy Chalice. So that's what I'm tasked with today.
The long hair really looks good. So, I like that.
I'm channeling my inner college days.
Very, very, very scary. I'm kidding. I am a Halloween fairy. So, I got boo earrings and lots of chocolate. So,
You kind of remind me of the Count from Sesame Street. But anyway.
I actually have some jewels. Gold.
Oh, thank you.
With a creamy chocolate filling.
I'll eat that. I have some.
And an apple.
Well, and I have for you. I found this in the cabinets left over from Valentine's Day. So
That's
all I could do at the last one. Can I have the apple?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. All right. Well, today's topic with Virginia Wellness Wednesday is facing our fears. That's why we thought it was very appropriate for Halloween for us to be dressed up and face fears. So I'll let Virginia go ahead and tell you about that.
All right, let's roll with it. So again, we're going to try to be concise, share with you some input and insight, and hopefully even hear from you, because this is live and we've made it live because we want it to be interactive. So, why discuss fear? Well, fear oftentimes can hold us back from living the lives that we want. So, can we overcome fear, or is it just something that we have to live with? Well, I think that we can overcome fear. I know that I myself have overcome fear, and I understand that there's a lot of fears that I still have. So, we're going to talk and learn together about things that we maybe do to cope with fear that work for us, and then maybe some things that don't work for us.
I'm glad you chose fear today.
Yeah.
Can you break down fear just a little bit further? As to, there's different types of fear, right?
Right. Fear is actually the root of a lot of anxiety, too. You might hear the fear of fear. The fear of having anxious symptoms, such as if you're afraid to fly. You don't want to experience those negative symptoms of rapid heartbeat, sweaty palms, and things like that. Different people have different fears. So some of our fears may be rational and some may be irrational. So think to yourself, what are your fears? Identifying them can be helpful in just having that self-awareness. So.
Well, I hear a lot of kids when they come in the door here and they're afraid to get, an immunization or a shot.
Yeah.
So, I think they've built themselves up for that, right? So, but that's something they could overcome, right?
Yeah, and really what we found is that the more exposure to the fear, the less power that it has. So, a lot of fears we have, something might be scary, but it might not actually be dangerous. So really identifying the fears that you want to overcome and then exposing yourself to it, and eventually it's even possible to gain mastery over your fears. And I have an example from that. I used to be terrified of public speaking. Literally, my hands would shake. I would stutter. I'd even have a lisp sometimes. Not kidding.
And look at you now.
Right. So, but this isn't necessary. I guess this is public speaking.
Sure, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then with my job after college and different leadership opportunities during college, I had to speak. I was kind of forced into it in order to make a difference in the community. So I just forced myself to do it. My heart was in it. It's not like I was selling a product that I didn't really care about. I was selling something that I did care about and I thought could make a positive difference. So I just made myself do it. And now I really love it. You know, I get a little bit of an adrenaline rush, but I may not be at mastery of it, obviously, but I definitely am not as scared of it as I was before, and that's because I just exposed myself to it and I made meaning from it.
You know, you brought up a good point there about just mastering the fear. And, you know, we're both sitting here in costumes right now.
Right.
So, you know, hypothetically, you know, sometimes people, I think they put on costumes to kind of, you know, hide behind, you know,
Yes.
to mask that fear. So how appropriate that we are dressed in costume to talk about that. So
yeah.
can you expand a little bit on that?
I sure can. So sometimes we wear a mask and we hide behind it. A lot of times this mask is in the form of defense mechanisms. Now, defense mechanisms, I've got 3 that I brainstormed, okay? And these 3 are things that a lot of people do, one or the other or all 3, but that promote a lot of consequences. So something that you do to help yourself or to resolve the fear actually ends up hurting you in the long run. All right, you ready? I'm going to go through them. Number 1 is numbing. So we may numb the fear through substance abuse, such as alcohol, even binge watching TV, drugs. Yeah, put those all in the same sentence. Anything that you do to avoid reality and just numb the fear. It could be other things like overeating, whatever it is, if you're just numbing. And one problem with that is, yes, you may be able to temporarily numb the emotion of anxiety, which is fear, you know, but you're also numbing, you can't selectively numb. Brene Brown talks a lot about this in The Power of Vulnerability. It's a YouTube TED Talk, which we can post later. But you cannot selectively numb. So yes, you may not be numbing anxiety, but you're also numbing excitement and even maybe love or thrill and things like that. So you can end up becoming a vegetable. Not really, but...
Well, I mean, you could dress up as a vegetable for Halloween.
You could dress up as a vegetable.
Veggie Tales.
So numbing can be negative. Okay, number 2. Another way is avoiding. So yes, you may temporarily resolve those symptoms of fear and anxiety, but in the long run, the next time you come upon that situation that you previously avoided, you're going to even be more anxious. So the anxiety actually grows the more that you avoid it. So that gives you another problem. The third one is abusing. Yes, we may say none of us are guilty of that, but I'm not just talking physical abuse. I'm talking verbal and emotional abuse. A defense mechanism sometimes is lashing out at other people, especially the people that you love the most. So that is a defense mechanism, and the problem with that is you could literally scare people off in your life that you love and have consequences relationally. So, and you could really, really damage them. So
numbing, avoiding, and abusing.
Yes.
So
those are the...
And obviously someone could come to meet with you and kind of talk through those things.
Yeah.
And you really could help them get to some self-awareness, right? I mean, just as easily as anxiety or fear or depression appears, it can go away.
It sure can. You can certainly reduce your symptoms of distress, and especially through counseling and talking to somebody. Gaining that self-awareness is a powerful thing to do, because then when you know what's going on versus just living on impulse 24/7, you can resolve it. So yes, talking about it in a non-judgmental environment can be extremely helpful, which goes on to my point number 3. Share an attitude of humility with the message that we are all imperfect. So that in itself kind of brings the mask down. I'm not perfect. You know, are you
Yeah,
perfect?
No,
Okay.
I'm close to 100. But
We can strive for excellence,
Mhm.
but none of us are perfect. So
Right.
go ahead, you know, say the truth, and none of us are perfect. So with that, you're not alone. We all have fears. Sure, I might seem like I have things together, but there are some days where, you know, I want to pull the covers over my head and not face reality. So we all have our difficulties. It's not acknowledging suffering and fear. It's a part of the human experience. So know that you're not alone and know what you need to do to overcome it. So with that, do you know the definition of bravery? Do you?
I have a thought in my head, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
Yes, I will tell you, James. So bravery is not fearlessness. Bravery is knowing that the stakes are high, even feeling maybe that fear, but still taking a step forward with that moral, mental, or emotional strength. So you're not fearless. You're not reckless. You're brave. You know what's going on. You have the fear, but you still step forward. So a lot of that is overcoming your fears. Be brave. Take a step forward and give yourself a break. You know, sometimes we think in such large, big terms, but I'm encouraging you and my patients and myself to even note those small victories. You know, a little thing that you did. Maybe it was a coworker that you were afraid to talk to and you talked to them. So note that small victory. And what will happen is you're going to switch, you're going to turn the coin going from feeling guilty about all the avoidance that you're doing or the numbing or the abusing to feeling more and more confident, and you're going to build your self-esteem the more victories you achieve. So with anxiety, with fear, you got to move through it. You can't avoid it. You can't numb it. To truly conquer it, you have to move through it. And so eventually you can obtain mastery and you can be a warrior.
You know what
Yep.
You know what I'm afraid of?
What?
I'm afraid of running out of candy tonight when
Okay.
trick-or-treaters come.
Yeah. Is that a rational or an irrational fear?
That's pretty irrational because it's just candy. I
It
think we're
It'll
at
be
the
okay.
I think we're at the end of our time here.
Okay.
I really did enjoy that we were able to, just kind of dress up here on Halloween and talk about facing our fears. I thought it was kind of appropriate.
Yeah. Maybe more people will watch it now that we're in Halloween costumes.
It could be a YouTube sensation.
Oh, yeah.
You sure you don't want some leftover fun dip?
No, I'm okay.
I'm trying to get rid of it.
All right. So,
Well, thanks for the apple. And anyway, we hope everyone has a safe and happy Halloween
Yes.
tonight. Tune in next Wednesday. Send your questions in to us through Facebook for Virginia, for Wellness Wednesday with Virginia. And if you need to make an appointment, you can call our central appointment line at 251-690-8889 to make the appointment with licensed professional counselor Virginia Inge.
thank you. And remember, a lot of times processing your fears can be writing it out and gaining support. So you can even maybe you are afraid about tonight, Write about it and definitely get a buddy. Buddy system is always best. So thank you so much for tuning in, those of you that did. And I hope you have a wonderful week.
And thanks again. Thanks for the
Be
apple.
brave.
And face your fear.
Face your fear.